Hey everybody, Mike Crane here with Hunter Zier from Conopy Mortgage. Today we are going over first-time homebuyer in the Six Things podcast. This is part 1. And so today on this first episode, Hunter is going to give us a quick tip for all first-time homebuyers. Hunter, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so the first tip I would give to a first-time homebuyer is to educate yourself. Education, I think, is the biggest thing when looking at purchasing a home, even if it's not your first home, but especially for first-time home buyers, is education. So, doing your research and listening to the right material, reading the right material, watching videos like this, and just picking up as much information and knowledge as you can have going into that, because you don't want to go into it blindly. And having that information is really just more tools in your tool belt so you can make the right decision and know that you have the right team on your side. And when questions come up or even issues, because those always happen when you're in real estate, things come up that might not be perfect. And just being more educated, having more education is always the best.
100%. And so for me, I'd say read a bunch of reviews. You really want to find somebody who's going to be very patient and communicative. It's going to be a game changer to have somebody is great at communicating and knows the process, because you don't, and you want to fully understand it. I think you nailed it with the education. Ask a lot of questions. Like, don't be afraid to really get on your realtor and challenge them. And, if they don't have the answers to those questions, then you should be able to get them to figure them out. If I'm working with a first-time home buyer, then if I don't have the answer, I'm immediately reaching out to one of the many people on my team to try to figure it out. And so you really need someone who's going to dial that in for you.
Yeah, I fully agree.
If you get with somebody who isn't willing to communicate and educate you and prepare you and stuff, you can really end up in a pickle and end up getting sued or in a bad deal or whatever the case may be. So you really want to grind into it and try to, get somebody who's pretty well educated and everything.
How important is it for the person you're working with, like the real estate agent, for them to know and double check paperwork?
100%. So I always double check my paperwork and then I send it to my managing brokers or my team lead or anything, because there's things that you miss, especially if you've done this so much and you just get into the monotonous filling out paperwork aspect. If you're hitting one wrong thing, it could completely destroy something. An example is, there was a listing and we caught it, and I had marked foreclosure, REI owned, and it foreclosure. And so we caught it and we redid the paperwork, which is totally fine, but then it ended up getting loaded back up into the MLS. And I actually had Spokane Association of Realtors call me and were like, hey, we just wanted to check on this because of this. And I was like, oh, we fixed that. And for some reason it's not fixed, and so that, 2 weeks I had a listing that said it was a foreclosure, and I was like, that's not a thing.
Right.
It could really just screw you. Don't pay attention.